Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. So in the first debate, when it was Biden, Trump was able to effectively jujitsu the abortion issue that the left wants to make so central to this campaign, to turn out their PHAT posses in the wealthy suburbs, places like,
Hinsdale.
Yeah, Hinsdale,
Yeah,
River Forest, Wilmette, in those places. It's going to be even more of a central issue with Kamala now as the nominee. That's for sure. But it seems to be, again, like it is with all these other issues, since they were partners in all of these policy crimes, there's no real daylight between them. If anything, Kamala comes to the table with a harder edge on these issues where they're on the wrong side of the American public, while Trump has moderated the stated position of the Republican Party after the Dobbs decision, after Roe v. Wade was overturned, to leave the matter up to the states. And if Illinois wants to be an abortion dumping ground, which it is, then that's the choice of the Illinois electorate and their representatives. And what happens in Illinois will be very different than what happens in Texas or Florida. And then it becomes a political issue at the local level and a hearts and minds issue at that same place. But this is something that is more central to Kamala than it was for the big guy. There's no question about it. Let me give you an example of what I mean. Senator Krakajawea, Elizabeth Warren from Massachusetts, on with Klingon Collins on CNN.
Yeah.
And was asked about the accomplishments of one Kamala Harris. So this is Warren on Harris. Her greatest accomplishment as vice president. Are you ready for this?
Yep.
What do you think has been her biggest accomplishment since she's been vice president?
Oh, I have to say, since the Dobbs opinion, the way that she has rallied women and friends of women, also called men, around this country on the issue of abortion and just taken it home. First vice president in history to visit an abortion clinic. Go get them.
Did she just say go get them?
Go get them. Go get those kids.
Go get those fetuses. Yeah.
First, her greatest accomplishment as vice president was visiting an abortion clinic. It gives you an idea of how central that will be over the next 100 days to what they have to say. And it's going to be important as to what Trump has to say in response. The jujitsuing he did in that first debate, but also in real time on the campaign trail, the messaging that is hopefully preemptive as well as reactive to what you'll get in terms of hysterics from Kamala and company, because, of course, they have this mantra about women's rights, civil rights, and they just rinse and repeat that like they do all of their other lines. It doesn't have to have any connection to reality. For more on the topic of respect for life from womb to tomb, please be joined by Scott Wilder, who's a spokesman for PreBorn. And again, you've heard about PreBorn on this show. Go to 560answer.com/preborn or call 833-850-BABY. That's 833-850-2229 to support PreBorn. And one of the things they do that we've been promoting is provide the resources for women who are seeking an abortion to get an ultrasound because of the conversion rate to having the child that occurs when a woman sees the actual child growing inside her, as we've been discussing. Anyway, Scott Wilder, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Dan, thanks. And Amy, it's great to be with you.
So how about that? I mean, the place we're at now where the left is saying that a vice president's greatest accomplishment is visiting an abortion clinic.
And that's something. I think for most of us who are pro-life, I think for a long time, and look, I hail from the great state of Texas. The Wade from Roe versus Wade was Henry Wade, our district attorney. So I'm quite familiar with this from way back when in the 70s. But for a long time, I think those of us who are pro-life waited a long time for the right president at the right time to come along with the right court and the right Congress in the right mood. They might do the right thing. And look where we are today. We're in a post-Roe world, but the demand for abortions is greater than ever. And what's happening, especially here in Illinois, the idea that if you have a center that wants to provide assistance, like free ultrasounds, free pregnancy tests, free services like free maternity clothes, baby clothes, diapers, strollers, cribs, formula, parenting classes, that you are a fraud and practicing in deceptive trade practices if you don't also provide abortions. It is the most evil. And all I would say is, for 18 plus years at Preborn, we have provided free ultrasounds to girls because it doubles the chance that they'll choose life. When she sees her baby, when she hears her baby's heartbeat, more than 83% of the time she chooses life. The other side lies when they say they are pro-women. You cannot be pro-women and be against women having the truth, which comes in the form of the ultrasound, as they make this decision. So all this to say, we waited a long time for this to be fixed politically, and all that time, for 50 years, babies died. And so what Preborn's been doing for 18 years is taking the truth to the people who will actually make the decision, or as W used to say, the decider-in-chief. Mm-hmm. She is the decider-in-chief. And once her heart is changed, it doesn't matter whether she lives in my home state, the great state of Texas, or the People's Republic of California. It doesn't matter what those laws are, how liberal or how conservative they are. For example, Indiana has very different laws from Illinois. If a girl is pregnant in Indiana, she just comes right across and has the abortion. I mean, Gavin Newsom bought billboard space in Texas, and the billboards read, having trouble getting an abortion here? Come to California. I mean, it's almost abortion trafficking. And so rather than cursing the darkness, shaking our fist, we can shine the light, be the light, just provide these services for free. That's what Preborn's done. I'll also say this. We separately fundraise for overhead and administrative. So whenever we're on the radio, 100% of your gift goes directly to providing ultrasounds. $28 provides one, so even $28 a month, less than $1 a day, about a streaming service, less than $1 a day can save a baby a month for the coming year. And you can even provide an ultrasound machine if you're so inclined. We placed 69 of those last year. That's more than one a week. They're $15,000. I couldn't do it, but a long time ago I just figured I'm just going to say it. Somebody who needs to hear it maybe will hear it. But for the rest of us, $140 can save 5 babies, and $280 can save 10. $2,800 can save 100 babies. But 100% of what you give, when you call that number 833-850-BABY, or you go online to 560theanswer.com, 100% goes directly to saving babies, standing for life, be a hero for life. What you said is true. Kamala Harris is the most radically pro-abortion candidate ever to run for president. And what we can gritch and moan about how bad that is and wring our hands, or we can say, you know what, I'm going to do what I can do. I'm going to come alongside with no judgment. Not going to wag a finger in the face of a girl. We're going to put an arm around the shoulder and say, we have these free services for you if you'd like them, and we provide them for free. Get no taxpayer dollars. Don't charge for any services. So it really is incumbent on those of us who are pro-life. The rest of the world will join us in a lot of humanitarian things. They'll help with us in building cinder block houses and feeding the hungry, clothing the naked, and purifying water and digging wells and all that stuff. But on this, we really are all alone. This is an inside job. And it's the old Sir Edmund Burke quote, "The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good people to do nothing." And today we have a chance to do something, and not just hope, not just talk about it, not just hear about it, but to actually do something, come alongside, provide 1, 2, 5, 10, 100, 1,000 ultrasounds for free, and stand for life in a significant way without saying, well, it's all up to politics. It's not going to be fixed politically by bans and laws, because that doesn't change hearts. This, providing the ultrasound, a heart is changed, and the decision is changed, and life is saved.
I think you have a wonderful organization. How do you find or reach out to these women?
Yeah, we're very sophisticated. We have lots of digital ways and geofencing in different ways, search words. I mean, if the other side can use that great technology, so can we. And so, what we're talking about today is providing those things so that when those young ladies come, for example, talking to you, saying, hey, if you're listening right now and you're pregnant you want to come get a free ultrasound, there may be some people doing that, but the great majority of the people listening today would be able to provide those so that they are there for young women who find us. It's word of mouth, but it's not just word of mouth. It's very sophisticated. We use the web very much. We use geofencing very much, and we can provide the help and the hope in the same ways the other people provide the other stuff.
You mentioned placing 69 ultrasound machines. So you work in conjunction with pregnancy care centers?
We do. In fact, we have centers all around the country. We have several in Illinois. We started really there. 52% of abortions are done in 5 states, and so Illinois is one of those. Texas, sadly, is one of those. And so we started just there, but we're so much bigger than that now. So in some of the communities, those, for example, when I'm in New York, we have a center in New York that is in Jamaica, Queens. It's the only pro-life center in New York. And when we raise those funds, those funds stay right there. So you're saving, in so many cases, you're saving your own grandkids, your own great grandnieces. You're providing the services for your own daughters and nieces, and, of course, nephews. I mean, men are involved, too. When you have a man in the room and he hears the heartbeat and he's against the whole thing and only stopped by because the mother of the baby heard it was free, and they're on their way to get an abortion. But once he hears the heartbeat, he puts his cell phone down, and he almost is surprised to hear himself say, "That's a baby." And they choose life. We hear that 1,000 times. And so, this is the placement of the truth at the most important place it could be, right before that decision is made. And it's done in love, no pressure. So much so that we've had, on the rare occasion, we have a girl say, I've heard it, I've seen it, thanks, but I'm going to still go keep my appointment. Had a story just not so long ago of a girl who had said that. And it's sad, but the message they get is, we're still here for you. If you go through with the abortion, we're here for post-abortive counseling. We love you. We support you. 1 year later, this girl walks back in with a baby, and she says, "You never knew this. I didn't tell you at the time, but after I left, it kept ringing around in my head, the sound of the baby's heartbeat, what I saw. And I had my baby, and I just wanted to come back and show her to you." So we know it's valuable. It's not pressure. It's exactly the right thing. And I'll tell you what's deceptive. It's deceptive for the vice president, the president, all of Planned Parenthood, and all the influencers and the megastars. It's deceptive to say it's not a baby. It is immediately obvious to the most casual observer. When you see that ultrasound, when you hear that heartbeat, that is a baby. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to choose life every time, but it doubles the chance they'll choose life. And we've waited for a long time to have some big shot from political on high to do something. And I think this is an opportunity for us just to do what we can do today by providing ultrasounds for free.
And again, the cost of an ultrasound is just $28.
Yes.
And if you, for $140, you can do that for 5 moms and their babies. And again, the cost of a ultrasound machine, $15,000. That's what it costs to purchase a machine that can save the lives of thousands of babies for years to come. PreBorn is the organization to contribute to the cause that Scott was so eloquently outlining. Go to 560theanswer.com/preborn. It's all one word, PREBORN. 560theanswer.com/preborn, or call 833-850-BABY. That's 833-850-2229. Scott Wilder, spokesman for PreBorn, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Dan and Amy, thank you.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with